We cannot continue to just treat these guys as local street gangs. They have weaponry that looks like what terrorists, in some cases armies have. They control territory in many cases. Those cartels extend from the Maduro regime.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio sending a sharp warning to Venezuela's leader, Nicolas Maduro. This is part of what the White House is now calling a war on drug cartels. Tonight, President Trump is sending 10 F-35 fighter jets to Puerto Rico, some of America's most advanced warplanes. The move follows a U.S. strike earlier this week that killed 11 suspected Venezuelan narco-terrorists aboard a boat the White House says was loaded with drugs. Officials say the fighter jets are meant to send a warning to Venezuela's leadership, with Trump vowing to shoot down any threats after Venezuelan jets flew near a U.S. warship. This was just days ago. NewsNation's Jorge Ventura live tonight with more on what this new show of force means for the region. Jorge.
Well, Kelly, the U.S. continues to turn up the heat against their battle against drug cartels in Latin America. And now we are learning that the U.S. will be deploying these UF stealth fighter jets, joining U.S. warships and Marines in the Caribbean for potential additional military strikes against drug cartels near Venezuela.
Frankly, it's a war. It's a war on killers. It's a war on terrorists. These are not narco traffickers. These are narco-terrorists.
It's a war, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said during his visit in Ecuador, as the Trump administration sets their targets on drug cartels in Latin America and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, who the administration says is the head of Cartel de los Soles and responsible for trafficking drugs into the United States.
Nicolas Maduro is an indicted drug trafficker in the United States, and he's a fugitive of American justice.
Tensions with Venezuela escalating to new levels after 2 Venezuelan F-16 fighter jets flew over a U.S. warship in the Caribbean, a move the Department of War called provocative. The Trump administration now warning Maduro that the U.S. military is authorized to strike Venezuelan military aircraft in their counter-narcotics operations. The U.S. is now responding by deploying 10 F-35 fighter jets to Puerto Rico for operations to combat drug cartels in the Caribbean.
By sending 10 F-35s into Puerto Rico to give them cover, it's a very clear signal to Maduro not to do it again.
The pressure is mounting on Maduro after the U.S. military took out a suspected drug vessel taking off from Venezuela, killing 11 suspected Trinidad narco traffickers, the first strike from a U.S. warship since its deployment to the Southern Caribbean. That military strike could be a preview of what's to come against drug cartels in Latin America, with the U.S. now designating Los Chorenos and Los Lobos as 2 Ecuadorian-based drug trafficking organizations as foreign terrorist organizations, paving the way for potential more military strikes on cartels.
We're not going to sit back anymore and watch these people sail up and down the Caribbean like a cruise ship. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen anymore. They're not going to bring drugs into the United States. We're going to stop them. I know a lot of presidents have talked about doing it. This president is not a talker. He's a doer.
We have now seen the U.S. military strike a suspected drug vessel off the waters in Venezuela. Now many people in Mexico are wondering, could we see the United States military take similar action against drug vessels taking off from Mexico headed towards the United States, Kelly?
Yeah, that's a question that remains. All right, News Nation's Jorge Ventura. Jorge, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.